look at each question. We're going to give you some details on what you might want to fill out, some important key things that panelists might be looking for as we go through. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'll do the walkthrough with Chelsea's help, of course. All right, so this is the Greater Hartford Arts Council's website here. So we're gonna go over here to resources. It's also in the slider, but we're gonna go over here to resources, and you're gonna see Hartford Creates here. I'm gonna click on Learn More. Grant Portal button right there. So we have more information about Hartford Creates here, as well as the upcoming info sessions. But if you click on Apply for Funding, it's going to take you to Submittable. So this is Submittable. It's our grant management portal. You're going to see some general information about Submittable here. So key things, you're going to need to set up a free account with Submittable. You can sign in with Google and Facebook as well. You are able to save drafts as you go through. You can request to edit your submission. You can withdraw an application if you choose to withdraw an application. This point right here, Submittable works best on Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. If you try to use Submittable with Internet Explorer, you're going to have some trouble. It's not supported. So Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari for applying for your grant. And like Chelsea had mentioned, make sure that Submittable is on your safe list for your email. Check your email, because you'll also get notifications from Submittable into your email, or you can go into Submittable directly if you need to check and see if you have any messages from us. And then the Submitter Resource Center, Submittable has some really great tutorial materials, so we've got some links in there as well. So you're going to come down here to Hartford Creates All Season Events, clicking on that. Oh, let's sign me in. Uh-oh, there we go. Sign in. All right. All season event grants, you're going to get a really brief guideline right here at the top. In bold here, access the full all season event grant guidelines. When you click on this link, it's going to take you into a PDF on Google Drive that goes through everything that Chelsea and I just walked through. It's going to be right there. Then another important link here is the budget template. We're going to go through it in detail later, but when you click on here, it's also going to take you into a Google Sheet that will be your budget. There are expenses and income that you need to address in there. And the big part about the budget template is that you are not able to edit it directly in Google Sheets. You're going to need to download it from Google Sheets and then download it as an Excel file. And then you'll be able to edit it on your computer and then upload it to Submittable in your application. And Chelsea, you want to talk about managing collaborators?
Oh, yes, I was born ready. Okay, so I actually just learned about managing collaborators a few days ago, so I'm very excited to talk about it. So the biggest thing, if you do have a collaboration with somebody, with another organization, they do need to be added onto your application, especially before you submit it 100%. So the biggest thing that you are going to do is if you're the organization, you're gonna go over into, I'm trying to see from my guidelines and also look at the screen as well. So you're going to click on that Manage Collaborators button over in the top right hand corner over there. And then all you have to do is just add in the email that the other organization that you'll be collaborating with. So for example, if I'm collaborating with Amanda from the Arts Council, which would never happen, of course, I would add in Amanda's email and then you would just click invite. And bam.
Yeah, so if you need to share with, If you need to share anything with somebody within your organization, if you're working with an artist and you want them to collaborate on the application with you, it's a quick and easy thing. You can also collaborate on things like your contract. If you need somebody else to sign the contract other than you, and if it's in your account. So we do make any form available to collaborators. All right, so let's jump in. So you are going to enter your submission name. This is going to be the name of your event. So example here is Awesome Festival. That's the name of an event, the Awesome Festival. So you're gonna fill that out. We list the eligibility requirements. You're gonna say whether or not you fit these, clicking yes or no. If you click yes, then we're gonna look at your application. Filling out your organization name, your federal employee ID number, and then of course all the general information, contact information that we need, your address, the application lead. So this is the person that's going to be the point person for this application. If we have any questions, if we have any concerns, this is the person that we're going to contact. Please provide their phone number and email address. And we also need the executive director of the nonprofit organization that is the lead applicant.
All right, so event information, it's very self-forward, I think. So first thing that you're gonna have to do is request how much you would want as from the Arts Council. So like we said before in our slideshow presentation, events with budgets under 15,000, the maximum that you can request is 5,000. Events with budgets with between 15,000 and 30,000, maximum request is 10, and so on and so forth. So you would put in for the awesome event, I think we're only requesting like $5,000, I believe, something like that. And then you'll just have to go and answer all of the questions that are here in submittable. If you do not receive the full amount requested, how will you cover the funds? I think the awesome event was going to cover the cost with their own cash. And then what season does your event take place? And you can select multiple of these, if I'm correct. You can select no, sorry. You can only select one season. And for each season, you have to apply separately. Sorry about that, guys. And then where does your event take place? Is it a one single day, over the course of multiple consecutive days, or multiple dates that are not consecutive? I believe that we are doing multiple consecutive days for our awesome event. And then I think we were doing spring, something like that, March, maybe April Fool's Day, April 2nd and April 3rd, excuse me. So, and then you also have to put down if your event takes place outdoors. If it is taking place outdoors, then another question will pop up saying if you have an inclement weather plan, and then you'll have to go into detail on that. It's very important to make sure that everything is detailed in your inclement weather plan. And then what neighborhoods your event is taking place in the city of Hartford. You have a lot of options of where you can have your events located. So it's not just the downtown area. We can also think abroad and how we can get the community more involved as well. And then if you have multiple locations, you can also type them out as well at the bottom and give a brief description of what time it's starting at, what park or organization, where the event will be held, all of that fun stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at a question that I got in the chat. I will answer this after we're done going through the submittable application, I promise. And then will your event include community collaborations and partnerships? You'll have to check all of those that apply. Oh, and you'll also have to, sorry, my apologies. We're gonna go back. You'll have to summarize your event in detail. including the schedule of key activities in artistic focus. So at that 9:15, the awesome band is playing. You have to make sure that you put that down, what time they'll be coming off of the stage, what artists will be singing in that band that day. You'll have to put what food vendors are coming, what if there's going to be a painter, if there's going to be a dance group that will be performing with the band. You'll have to have all the details in that box.
Thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, the more information that we have that can paint the picture of the audience experience, the better. Next section here is focusing on artists. So what types of artists are involved in your event? Anything that has a square box like this means you can check multiple ones. So if you're going to have dancers, if you're going to have literary artists, you're going to have visual artists, and maybe we missed a type of artist on here that you're going to have, you can click other, and then you can tell us what other types of artists are going to be involved in your event. So if you want to give more detail on exactly who's going to be there, who's going to be performing, who's going to be creating, you can provide more detail there. We also want to know how these artists are being included in your event. So let us know that they're going to be putting on this type of show, they're going to be creating this type of work, there's going to be community engagement, there's going to be teaching artists involved. We want to know what the audience experience is going to be with the artists. Then if you can list any artists by name, that is going to help your application. It's not absolutely required. There isn't a red star next to this. Anything with a red star, a little red asterisk, that is a required answer. This one doesn't have that. So you're not required to provide the names, but if you are able to, that is going to help your application. So please, again, the more detail, the better. That's gonna allow the community panelists to really know what's going on. And then, as we mentioned before, what percentage of participating artists are local artists? And by local, we mean artists who live and work in the greater Hartford region. You can estimate. So give us an estimate percentage. If you know the exact percentage, that's great. But give us an estimate. In the final report, you are going to need to give us the actual percentage of local artists. In here, it's nice to have an estimate. If you, but again, if you know the exact amount, let us know.
Sorry, Amanda.
That's okay.
So now we're going to move on to economic impact. We really want to know, my internet's a little unstable. Please let me know if I'm choppy. We really want to know if you're going to be able to incorporate any of these businesses, any local businesses, food trucks, performers, retail, parking, public transportation. We want to know all of this information, and then you'll also have to check all that apply and then go into detail below in that little box there. If you can, do you expect any additional impact on the local economy because of your event? So let's say the awesome event is being held in Parkville Market. So all of those restaurants that are in that building are going to benefit immensely. And then you'll also have to make I wouldn't say it's an estimation, but you'll also have to, take into account of all of the different, what's the word that I'm looking for, benefits and ratings that these other restaurants would benefit from. And then you'll also have to describe that in the box below. We really want to make sure that, just because you're putting on an event, we also want to see if you are collaborating or that there's a few restaurants in the area of where your event is happening, or hotels or bus transportation, anything like that. We want to know how you're going to benefit the city of Hartford as well, or the community of Hartford.
Yeah, and that all goes back to that this being American Rescue Plan funding. We want to see that economic impact. All right, diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. So in this section, you're going to let us know, is your organization actively engaged in eliminating barriers to things like programming, resources, employment, and more? These are going to be the types of questions that when you click on them, it's going to pop up another question. So how are you doing that? Provide us with evidence that you are doing that. If you're not doing that, it's going to say what's holding you back. Oh, what's holding you back? We got to edit that. So why aren't you able to engage in eliminating barriers to your programming resources and employment? So please provide us with that information. And then, are you currently doing any of the following? So checking off who in your organization is going through ongoing training. Do you have a contract with the DEI consultant that's in progress? Or if you're not doing any of the above, checking that. And these are things we'll follow up on in the final report as well.
So not only do we want to know about the impact that the community will have, we also want to know how many people are going to be showing up to your event as well. So you can put an expected audience size. So I think for our awesome event, we were expecting at least, over 70,000 people, because this event is bigger than Jazz Fest. I'm totally kidding. This is a made up event. And then you'll also have to put in like the audience that you expect to reach. Are you expecting to reach out to ages 12 and under, ages 15 to 25, ages 25 plus? We want to know what your target audience is. We want to know who you intend to reach, exactly how you do intend to reach out to your target audience. Is it social media? Is it postering? Is it letters in the mail? We want to know all of that information. And we also want to know if, going back to that DEIJ work and making it accessible to everyone, is this going to be is there a fee for entry into your event? I believe that Amanda said earlier that we're looking for low cost to free events. So if you can provide that information of what the fee is going to be, we want to know.
All right, next up, we've got city services. So special permits are required from the city of Hartford for things that are taking place on city property. So you'll need to contact the city about getting the permits that you need if you're doing anything on city property. That's just a little reminder that doesn't go through us, just making sure that you have the heads up that you may need a permit if you're doing something on city property. And then if you are going to check off what you are expecting. Are you expecting to need street closures? Are you expecting fire and police? If you are not holding an event on city property, you can skip this section. It's not a required section. Okay, so then the attachments. So I'm going to skip forward to these two right here. So a copy of your 501c3 letter of determination for the lead 501c3 that's applying. So uploading that, uploading your 990, whatever format of it that you have, your latest one. So you're going to be uploading that as well. So those two attachments are really important. Then we've got the budget form. So let's go through the budget form real quick here. All right, so you're clicking on, you can download it from right here. You're going to be in here, you're going to go to file, you're going to go to download, and you're going to download it as a Microsoft Excel document. So this is what the budget form looks like. At the bottom, you're going to see there's a project expenses tab and there's a project income tab. Sometimes people don't see the income tab. Please fill out the income tab, or else we're going to have to come for you after you submit it and ask you to resubmit with the income filled out. So project expenses, providing as much detail, again, just like the narrative as you can, is important. So put your organization name, your event title. Then in column B here, you're going to list who it is that you're paying, if it's musicians, if it's choreographers, you're going to list that here. And then if you can provide names and details of those people. If you have multiple musicians, you can provide more detail in column C right here. Going across the types of funding that we have in these columns, in kind. So that's anything that is a donated service, goods, time. So that's in kind. We do have a tab here for calculating in kind. So you'll be able to take a look at that and how to calculate a dollar amount for the in kind. Your own cash is anything that you're paying out of funds that you have in your bank account as an organization. Other grants and income. So this is going to be anything that's coming from other foundations, sponsorships, any other types of income, ticket sales. And then we've got amount covered by the Greater Hartford Arts Council grant. So that's going to be anything that you're expecting to pay for here. There's formulas in all these, so anything in orange is going to auto calculate for you. There's a section for salary, wages, and benefits. So these are staff that is directly involved in the project. You can list them here. And then in the project expenses, these are all those expenses that we were talking about before, things that are eligible. Your event permits and insurance, your city services, and then all of these things like photography and printing. You can list everything out, whose funds are going to be paying for all of these things. If there's something that's missing off this list, we have this other item. You can describe what those other items are, because we know we're not including everything that might be involved in every event. You are going to get a project expenses total that ends up right here in H45 here. So that is going to be your total expenses. When we go over to income, if we're going too fast, again, we can walk through this with you individually, or we're also going to have this recorded and you can slow it down. But in the income, you're going to list all your income. The key thing about this income sheet is really down at the bottom here, that your project income and your project expenses are the same. We want to make sure that they match. And there is a formula in here that's going to say either okay, or it's going to say error. If there's an error in there, do what you need to do to make sure that your income and your expenses match, because make sure that you're listing everything. Because if you're not able to cover all of your expenses, then we're not going to be really confident that we're able to fund the event. So types of income that are here, cash. We want to see the in kind. So again, looking at that calculating in kind. This is the amount that you'd be requesting from us for this grant. Are there types of earned income? So are you charging tickets, other types of earned income? Then we get into the different types of grants. And we need lists of agencies and foundations and all of that. So just putting other foundation grants isn't gonna necessarily cut it. We are probably gonna reach out for more detail. So government grants, local agency support, foundation grants, sponsorships, individual gifts. So we've tried to include all the different types of potential income here. So listing the agencies or offices that are related to those in column B here. So you're gonna give more detail. So that's a really critical piece here. In this column, column D, enter pending or secured. If you have it secured, you're going to put secured. If you haven't secured it yet, you're going to put pending. And when we take a look, it's fine that you don't have everything secured. That's totally fine. We're going to look at it and we're going to say, does it seem like they're going to be able to pull everything together to carry out this event? And things that are pending are absolutely legit. All right, that's the budget form. Please reach out if you haven't done a budget before. If you have questions about budgets, reach out to Chelsea, and she and I will absolutely be here to help walk through that with you. Last piece here, take it away, Chelsea.
So the last piece is the digital signature. It's very easy. All you have to do is put in your first name, your last name, the date of the digital signature. I will say, and you'll have to agree to the terms of use. And all of our terms of use are right there, so you'll be able to read it. It's not, 80-page terms of use like most things nowadays. So it's right there, easy. And then you can either click as it, you can click it as a saved draft, or when you can finish your digital signature, excuse me, and then you can click submit and you've submitted your application. Um, I would emphasize that you have to submit your application. You have to click submit before the deadline that we have. So if you were trying to apply an application for a grant for September 30th, your deadline is September 30th. So you have to make sure that this application is submitted before then. You can, like I said before, you can save the draft. So that way you can keep a place of where you were at. And if you still need to make changes or anything like that, you'll have that saved draft on file.
Great. Thanks, Chelsea.